I read a lot of comments on my YouTube videos, and there was a request to do a review on the 5P, especially after the seminar that I did at the Las Vegas DJ show on black lights, because this is a really cool light. So that's what this review is going to cover. And then another comment said, "Oh, Ronaldo, I'm so jealous. You get to play with all these cool lights." There's no need to be jealous. You can buy this light. It's incredibly affordable. But you know what you can't buy right now that you should be jealous of? Late 90s goodness. Hey everybody, Ronaldo Hoffman here with Master School Dances. Today's review is going to be on the ADJ 5P Hex, or the Ultra Hex 5P, or 5P Par, whatever you want to call it. Basically what it is, it's a bunch of awesomeness in a neat little metal form factor. Let's take a look. First of all, this actually reminds me a lot of the Dots Par in terms of the overall design. There's a nice all-metal case, the IEC in and out, as well as DMX 3-pin, all come out on one side, and it's got the feet so you can use it as an uplight. Now, if you decide you want to use it for uplighting and you take the yoke off and just use the feet, one of my worries before with older uplighting has been that if somebody messes with it and it gets knocked down or a foot comes off and the little display here doesn't work. Now, the display is not off, the light is not off. It's a new feature where basically most of the recent ADJ lights, as soon as you leave it alone for a bit, the display locks down. So if you want to turn it back on, you just hold the mode button and it's back on there. So this prevents people from messing with it, which is really nice. The 5P also comes with the Dots RF remote, which gives you your basic functions. You have blackout, you have fade, and we can slow it down if we need to. We have our color. You have some built-in programs. You have your sound active. And of course, you just have your basic auto run. All in this handy-dandy RF remote, which means it does not need line of sight. Makes it a great light for uplighting. But what else makes it great for uplighting? Well, the main application of this, or the main use or feature of this, is that it has, of course, your hex LEDs. Now, for those who are not familiar with hex, it basically means 6. That means you've got red, green, blue, white, amber, and UV. Now, my first thought is, you know what, this is going to be great for school dances or for weddings where I need my normal RGB. I want to do maybe some white floods maybe during the King and Queen or the grand entrance, and then UV during the party portion of the evening. And essentially, that's what we're using these for. We're using them for basically an all-in-one fixture. And just like the QWH5s and the Tri-64s, which I've used before, these are bright enough that 4 of these flooded 500 to 600 students with no problem. And thanks to that comes in part to the 10-watt LED diodes that this has. But then for uplighting, well, UV is an essential color for uplighting. Not the color itself, but the actual LED. Because see, what happens is whenever we're doing, let's say for example, we're doing a school dance and we have our different RGB pars, and then I have the Eco UV, that UV still gives it a pop along with the floods, but it doesn't combine it. Here, it combines the colors. Let me show you real quick what I mean. Now, I've done my best to have it look on camera exactly like it does on, or in person rather. But right now we have red. And if I wanted to make it pink, I could easily add a little bit of white, right? So I'm just going to go into my mode and I have RGB, then we have white. And we're going to desaturate the red a little bit by adding some white. And we have like anywhere from a cream pink to a soft pink. And of course I can play around with that a bit. The amber would allow me to maybe make it a little bit more, add some oranges or a nice candlelit type color. But what about hot pinks? Well, this is where I still have a lot of the conventional uplighting. Some of you have seen my videos where I talk about still using gels because there are certain colors that LEDs could not do. One of those colors was hot pink, which is really, really popular. Especially, the weddings that I do, school events, hot pink is always big. And it really wasn't doable with LEDs. It is now. So, I'm going to go into my UV. I'm going to point it at the wall so you can see. I'm going to add my UV color. So basically I have red at 255, meaning all the way up, and now the UV at 255. And of course the colors still pop, which is really cool because it doesn't look like a black light, but the little blues and the little Mario thing here is lighting up. But it gives me a really, really cool hot pink. And honestly, this is what really sold me on the light, because now I don't have to worry about bringing out gels. Now I have an infinite amount of color possibilities. So what else can you do by mixing the UV? Well, let me go back over here for a second. And let's turn off the red. By the way, for those of you that are wondering, the UV does give a real nice pop to everything that you hit it with. But now, if I, let's say, mix it with green all the way up, we have almost like an aquamarine color, which this is normally achievable using red, green, blue, and white, but not in this kind of consistency. I mean, it's a really, really nice aquamarine green. Or let's add some blue. Let's go ahead and switch out and add blue in there. What we have is like almost like a deep royal type blue, a really, really pretty royal that's not too dark or almost navy-like. It's much more vibrant than other blues that I've done before. And of course, you can play around and add the white in there. So we could get rid of the blue. So if I add now the white to the UV, the UV effect, pretty much everything's gone. I mean, this isn't gonna pop or anything like that, but it gives me a cool white without it looking blue. But if I take off the UV, then it gives me a normal white, and the white on this, it's a little bit warm without it looking yellow. Couple this with the LSF filter and you have a fantastic all-in-one light that can be used for uplighting, wall washing, and of course floods as well. Now the only difference between this and the QWH5 or any of those type of lights is that this guy does not have the gel holders. So if you do want to use the LSF, the light shaping filter or a diffusion filter, the easiest way is go to Walmart, go to the craft section, pick up those little round Velcro dots, put them around, and you have an easy on-off way to remove them. So we're going to take a look at some of the colors. Don't ask me what each individual color is because I don't have it memorized. I don't have the manual in front of me. And frankly, there's a lot of built-in colors into the macro function of this, or again, using the remote. So if I'm going to use it as uplighting, I can use the remote, or I can just go into here and choose the color that I want. And of course, you can even dial it by RGB, white, amber, or UV. So of course, we've got red, we've got the green, we've got the blue, we've got your white, amber, and UV, which are standard, and of course, you know, that's all your 6 colors of your hex right there. Then you have different shades and combinations of yellows, purples, different colors of cream. Actually, I love this one because we do a lot of candlelit type weddings, and this has been a real popular color that, again, we haven't done with LED because we just couldn't hit that shade quite right. Really nice orange. Again, hot pink is my absolute favorite, and again, if you see it, I think it'll be your personal favorite too. The baby blue looks really nice on there, as does the, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's almost like a pea green, a very, very light pea green. An actual, much more truer yellow than you can get with an RGB type fixture. And of course, we have the really pretty color fade. One of the things that I like about this particular remote, and I've done these with my other lights, is if I have a wedding where it just requires a simple light show, maybe they didn't have a big budget for lighting, but they wanted some lighting on the dance floor, I'll take the yoke and I'll actually use either the M8 or M10 bolt, depending on which one my speaker has, and I will mount it on top of my speakers, aim them down to the floor, put the LSF or diffusion filter on there, and I can watch the whole floor, you know, for smaller weddings, you know, I would say maybe 100 some odd people, with 2 of these, depending on how high the speakers are, or if the ceilings are low and they're white ceilings, I'll bounce them off the ceiling so we get a nice even color shade. And I just use the remote, keep it in my pocket. I can go to Sound Active for introductions. I can go into various colors for different parts of the evening, or maybe I just want to black out during dinner so it's not in the way. So I've given you quite a few reasons on why the 5P is just an absolutely wicked parking. Again, you've got your hex LEDs, red, green, blue, white, UV, amber. You have amazing color combinations. You have an RF remote that you can easily control the lights with. You've got the automatic locking mode so people won't mess around with your light. And on the remote, as soon as you hit the blackout button, it automatically locks too. So I mean, either or, you have different options. But the coolest part is the price. Now, I don't really mention prices on my videos because prices change and you may not pay retail or listing price. You know, not everybody does that. So talk to your dealer. But I can promise you this. When you see the price of these things, you're going to ask, what's the catch? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think that the catch is they remove certain things like your gel holders and wireless function. Obviously, this isn't wireless or battery, but they didn't add those on to keep this at a low cost. I can promise you that when you see the price on these, you'll be able to buy let's say 8 of these to do a large school dance or do uplighting, and it's going to be the best purchase you've ever done. I promise you that. It's a really, really cool light. I'm really excited about it. So again, that's the 80J 5P Hex, an absolutely amazing, rugged, road-worthy par can that has more applications than I can think of as of the filming of this video. My name is Arnaldo Hoffman with Master School Dances. Thank you guys so much. Good night and God bless.